spokesperson for the Public Protector. Oupa, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we just got a statement from the Public Protector welcoming the President's decision to go on review.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me, sir. It's true, the Public Protector has taken note of the President's announcement early this evening, and she welcomes the move by the President to seek recourse by way of approaching the courts because the President does have a right to do so as an aggrieved party. And as we welcome this move, we would like to also remind the President that it's not enough to merely institute review proceedings. We ought to apply for a court interdict, which will help stay the implementation of the remedial action pending the review outcome.
So,
but having said that, the Public Protector is confident that her findings are factual and they are rooted in sound application of the law, will pass the test of rationality and are a result of an independent and impartial process. And to this end, she has no doubt that she has exercised her powers and performed her functions without fear, favor, or prejudice as required by the Constitution.
Mr. Segalwe, tell me about the argument, the Public Protector's argument that when the President says that it was not even within her jurisdiction to investigate the funds that she made findings on over the election campaign. What is the Public Protector's position on that?
Well, our view is that all the issues that the Public Protector considered as part of this investigation and flowing from the complaint that we received from Mr. Mkhwebane of the DA and Mr. Floyd Chibambu of the EFF, fell within the remit of the Public Protector, all of them, and they were investigated under a law called the Executive Members Ethics Act, which gives birth to what is known as the Executive Ethics Code. And that code lists quite a number of standards that ought to be upheld by any member of the executive. For example, it talks about, that members of Parliament, or members of the executive rather, should not mislead Parliament. It is clear there, and that they should not expose themselves to a risk of a conflict between their official duties and their private interests. And it also deals with issues of a declaration of interest, and all of those issues were part and parcel of this investigation.
Let me just get clarity on what you just said in your first answer. You are getting an interdict to ensure that the remedial actions are implemented. Is that counter to what the President announced today, if I understood you correctly?
No. We are saying an aggrieved party such as the President is well within their rights to approach the court for a review. But we're saying that is not enough. Over and above that, they should secure a court interdict which will halt the implementation of the remedial action, because we already know from the Concord judgment of March 2016 in the EFF versus Speaker of the National Assembly matter that the remedial action of the Public Protector is binding unless set aside by a court of law. And now, to get around that legal technicality, once you have instituted review proceedings, you should couple it with an interdict, and the interdict should be sought by the aggrieved party, and it should be against the party that has been directed to implement the remedial action. In this case, it would be the National Assembly, the NPA, and the Police of Police.
I see. That's pretty clear. And this is certainly a developing story that we'll see unfolding throughout the week. Mrs. Segalwe, thank you so much for your